Well, I hope you had a really terrific Christmas, and we have a very special gift for you today. Antonin Passemard is coming to you from France, and because nobody else wants to work Christmas week here, but I guess he's working for us Christmas week in France. And where in France are you, Antonin?
I'm in Burgundy.
Burgundy. Ah,
yeah.
Beautiful area. What are you going to teach us today?
Well, today I will try to focus on trying to teach you how to paint more colorful shadows. I find that often this is a problem in a lot of paintings, and to have more colorful shadows will help you to have better atmosphere in your painting.
Better atmosphere. That sounds terrific. Well, you know, this is one of the reasons plein air painting is so important, is because if you're copying a photograph, what happens?
What happens, you don't see anything in the shadows. Right. It all becomes like this asphalt color. Yes.
Right. Just a big dark blob.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Well, that's and so you're going to talk to us about how to see shadows and how to see the color in shadows too. So this is terrific. Well, let's get this show officially started.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rose.
All right, our guest today, Antonin Passemard in Burgundy, France, and we're going to learn about painting colorful shadows. This is really an important lesson because there's a lot of information in those shadows, and most people don't understand that until they get to plein air painting, and sometimes they don't even see it when they're doing that. So, Antonin, let's take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will paint. I will copy a painting which I did in plein air before. So I was really focusing on the shadow area, on the colorful shadows. So, and I thought that was a good example for you to focus on, and to develop this this way of seeing when you're painting. So let me zoom in on the canvas, and I will start showing you how I process.
All right, excellent.
All right. So I use a very simple palette. My palette is just red, blue, and yellow, but with cold and warm blue, and cold and warm yellow, and cold and warm red.
So for the people who don't understand the temperatures, could you give an example of what a cold blue is versus a warm blue, what a cold blue is? You know,
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Maybe you just take a dip of each color and put it up on your canvas so they could understand it, see them side by side.
That's a good idea.
Yes, I'm full of good ideas.
I'm sure, yes.
Full of something anyway.
So, for example, this is a cold blue. It is ultramarine blue. And if you put it next to a cerulean blue, which will be more of a warmer blue, which has a little bit more yellow into it compared to ultramarine that will have a little bit more red into it.
Right.
Then
what would be an example of another blue that might be a warm blue?
Phthalo blue would be a very warm blue.
Okay.
And yeah. And what is or you could use also cobalt. Cobalt will be another blue which will be slightly more warm than ultramarine.
All right.
Then in yellow you will have lemon yellow, which will be cold. Yellow light, which will be a little bit warmer. And then you will have, for the reds, you have cad red light, which will be your warm one, and your cold one will be alizarin. So this is basically the colors which I'm using. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think people will find that helpful. If you found it helpful, put something in the comments. And please tell us where you're watching from today. I know we're going to have a worldwide audience because of all of Antonin's following all over the world.
Yeah. So I will start to block in the painting. So I'm trying to keep the colors as open as possible at the beginning. This helps you to really focus on keeping your shadow very very light.
It's a little hard for us to see because your body's blocking the camera a lot.
Yes. Yep. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Let's see if we'll put the reference photo up of the other painting.
Yeah. So I like to open the canvas, the blocking stage, in a very, let's say, abstract manner. It helps me to focus on developing a better understanding in how the shadow link to each other. So here I'm doing very simple mixes of color, and this is what I would recommend when you paint this way. That it's easy to keep it's easier to dirty your colors than to keep them colorful. So this is why I try to keep those colors more colorful at the beginning of the painting.
And you're thinning everything down with turpentine?
At this stage, I'm trying to keep everything a bit thinner, and I'm thinning. I'm using just turpentine to keep things more. It helps to, especially, it is a good habit. You see it in many master paintings to have your shadow thinner than your lights. And also, I'm not over mixing on my palette. The reason is because it's a color is right only next to other colors. It's very hard to judge if your color will be right before you put it on your canvas. So this is an advice which I got early on and still stick with it and find it very helpful. So right now I'm keeping very, very bright colors. To keep this really as open as possible. And also I'm trying to think, when you do that, I'm trying to think really emphasizing warm and cold in a painting. And this is a very, very key point. For example, when you when you're on a sunny, snowy day, you will see very clearly the color of the shadows on the snow. It is because the surface is white, but the same principle applies when the local color is affected by the color of shadow. So, for example, if it is on the grass or on the roof, you will have the same warmness or coldness than you see on this white shadow, on this white color of the snow, I mean. And you need to keep that in mind when you are painting very heavily, how to say it, local colors.
Yeah.
And basically you are trying to keep this principle very strong in your painting. So you always need to, especially if you have a hard time to see it, you try to emphasize it a bit more. And with time, and of course with plein air painting, which is the key from a photograph, it will be very, very hard. I believe that you can do that with photograph when you have a very good experience of plein air painting. But without it, you will not get those, excuse me, those colors that you would get normally by painting plein air. Because when you paint plein air, you see way more information in the shadows because of all the reflected light around it. The atmosphere is much, much stronger. And of course, in painting, we like to focus, especially when we start on the value. On value is very important, but one lesson of course, but color is as important as value. And also color has this importance that in a way, as you develop as an artist, color helps you to, it's something very personal. For example, when you see a painting of Pissarro, Sisley, Monet, and there is some examples where they painted the same scene together, you can see how they saw from the same thing color differently. Value-wise, the painting is similar, but color-wise, it is different. And it is because there is this tendency for artists to really express their vision and their sensitivity through color. And so it is really a very important thing to focus on, to be able to carry yourself as an artist, and also to show, of course, the atmosphere. Okay. So at this stage, what I like to do when I'm painting outside, at this stage, I like to step back from the canvas. I highly recommend that you do that. So you see if the colors start to make sense and start to create space. This is why that when you are putting spots of color to start to do a drawing, but through spots of color, and then you tied it up little by little, little by little, but with pieces of color, what you're doing, you are painting in a way that you're sculpting those big shapes of color through paint, and you're basically drawing with paint. And this gives a very painterly, and it looks more like a painting painted drawn with paint than just a drawing with paint over it. And it has a nice quality to it. It's a little bit disturbing, strange and difficult when you're not used to it, but I highly recommend, when I give my workshops, I highly recommend people to try it and to experience this way of painting, which allows you also to be more free in your painting, which it might be interesting.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thanks. So, and when you, so if you see, I started to put shapes of dark colors, and then I started to put, before I continue into the dark colors, I started to focus on the main area to start to put light colors next to it. And this is on another subject, but still very important, that you need to focus your painting to more one area than others, and to keep your painting always finish in a sense that you have the main area always a little bit more ahead of the rest. And this helps you to carry a message faster, which is important when you paint plein air, and also a stronger message in your painting.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So continuing on working on the shadows. To start to develop the drawing through light and shadow, keeping, again, mixes very simple and light.
Oh, you're bold.
Yes, this is, I find that when you paint a lot outdoor, you develop this quality to don't doubt yourself, or don't, and to just go for it. And this goes also with this idea of having a radical vision when you are painting something. And this vision goes also through color. So, for example, when you are outdoor and you just don't know what type of light it is, or the color of shadow, the color of light, and you feel a little bit lost, there is something that you can do. Put a white canvas on the floor, and from this canvas on the floor, you put one part in a light, one part in a shadow. And like that, you will see how the white of the canvas is affected by the light around you. And this will give you an idea on how local colors in your landscape will be affected.
Our guest today, Antonin Passemard, coming to us from Burgundy, France. Happy day after Christmas, everybody. We're working for you. We're here. We're going to stick with it no matter what. We're sticking with it. We have started here in COVID, and we've been here every weekday ever since then. We have a worldwide audience today. You're bringing in all your friends, Antonin.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone. We hope that you'll hit the subscribe button, go to YouTube, follow us on social media, etc.
So now, so
it looks like the yellows are getting warmer.
yes, yellows are getting warmer. I'm touching more the light areas of the path and of the green path. And this, it's also important to, there is an advice which I got from one painter, a dead painter, 𝗏𝗏, and he has a very good way to put this this problem into words. Is that when you see something and you cannot name that color, and you don't know what it is, his point was like, try to give a name to that color, basically. So, is it a gray red, a gray green, a gray orange? And from that, once you name that color, it is much more easy to see color into it by effect.
Huh.
And yeah, on actually, by doing this, you can really start to focus on going more to push this gray or those colors which you could not name before towards this towards more a colorful direction. And then, of course, I mean, it depends on your character, on the way you see things. You can make it very colorful or more gray, and it is okay. There is nothing wrong into it. It's just, but to be able to go away from just painting dead shadows, it will always be beneficial in your painting. Yeah, so, and so, of course, you focus on the. Of course, in all of this, you still need to be to pay attention into your values, but the temperature of the color, you know, warm and cold, like we talked earlier, with the palette which I use, will help you to carry this this mood of the day much better. So here, and my advice, if you never try it, it is to do as little mixes as possible on the palette and try to put the main, when you just see the color, try to just put this color onto, when you just, for example, this spot looks blue and you just put blue. And then you look at it towards the other colors which are there, and then you basically paint, mix the colors directly on the canvas. And this has a more, you will see how little you need to mix sometimes, and you will see how more bold you can be also with your color and your own vision of the scene. Grab some new brushes. Oh.
Ooh la la.
Mm-hmm. Also, another way to, another benefit to paint more colorful shadows is that you will have a better sense of, you will have a much better sense of reflected light. So basically, which is a very important key when you are painting scenes, a sunny day scene. And this will give the impression of light bouncing around into your painting. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Which is very important to give this to give the impression of everything is wrapped by light and everything is surrounded by this atmosphere of this day. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You want to grab a drink of water?
Oh, I will be okay. I will be okay.
Okay, don't die. Got a whole new beautiful year ahead of us.
Actually, I think I will grab a glass of water.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll just come on and just talk about something. Okay, terrific. Thank you so much. Okay, well, happy day after Christmas, everyone. I hope you had a really terrific Christmas. Thank you for all the cards and letters and gifts and all that stuff. It's really sweet of you. We are Art School Live. We're here every weekday at 12 noon. If you're brand new to us, welcome. We love you. We have been trying to teach people art. We have really put it out there. We have different artists every day. On Mondays, we have Art Marketing Mondays. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we have guests. And on Fridays, we do Feedback Fridays, where I do critiques of paintings. And we'd love to have you as a part of all of that. We have something really big coming up I just want to tell everybody about. On January 10th, if you want to have a better year than you had this year, if you sell your artwork or you have desire to sell your artwork, whatever level you are, maybe you're just saying, you know, I want to pay for my art supplies. Maybe you're saying, I want to make a few extra $100 a month. Maybe you want to make a few extra $1,000 a month. Maybe you want bigger than that. Maybe you're a professional and you want to just get to the next level. We have an event that's going to be on January 10th. It's called Art Business Mastery Day. And that is on January 10th. It's going to be all day. It's going to be a long day. We have a lot of different guests that we're going to be having teaching. And you can find all those guests at the website. If you go to streamlineartevents.com/marketing. That's my company, Streamline. So streamlineartevents.com/marketing. We're going to focus on making your year the best it can possibly be. We're going to help you set your goals. We're going to help you see things that you're not seeing, because that's the thing. You know, it's like, what am I not seeing? Why isn't it going as well? We're going to help you point those kinds of things out, help you with your mindset, with your goal setting, your planning, your pricing, your email marketing, your newsletters, your strategies, just kind of everything, right? We have some people who are going to teach you about Instagram. We're going to teach you about advertising in general. We're going to teach you about a lot of different things. And it's going to make a huge difference in your life. I'm going to teach one technique, for instance, that if you just follow that one technique and you do that consistently, you probably could double your sales in 1 year. Now, if your sales are zero, then it's not going to work for you. But we're going to help you get from here to here and keep moving you up. So make sure you sign up for that. By the way, we made it cheap. It's only $47 US. And we did that because we want a lot of people. We're likely to have thousands of people attending from all over the world. And if you attend, it will potentially change the way that you operate right now. And just quite frankly, one or two little ideas is worth it. I mean, think about this. You go to lunch with somebody and you're paying it, it's going to cost you $47. So why not just go ahead and invest in yourself, invest in your future? So that's at, go one more time with the slide, and that is streamlineartevents.com/marketing. So make sure you come to that. Let's see if Antonin is back and alive. Are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, thank you very much, Eric. I'm back, and I'm back at it. So now, still,
We want to keep reminding you that it's kind of hard if your hand is blocking, your body's blocking. Yeah, I know it's hard to paint weird like that.
Yep. So another tip when you're painting, it is try to paint multiple areas at the same time. Don't try to focus too much in one area and then do another one, because the painting needs to feel like it's all together. And if you start to paint paintings from one spot and then another spot, what will happen is they will feel disjointed. So that's one thing to keep in mind.
All right.
So also trying to re-emphasize on making even stronger the complementary colors, which, if you look at the color wheel, you will understand opposite colors. They really create this sense of, when it's put into a painting, it really creates this sense of light when you use them against each other. It was very much used during the Impressionist time with the technique of broken color, where you put next to each other complementary color and created this really intense shimmering of light through just pigment on a canvas. When you paint and you want to apply color on a spot which has already paint on it, I hear often the advice would be to hold the paintbrush differently. Instead of holding it like a pen, you're holding it like this, and
Right.
you just drag on the paint, which is already there. And usually we'll have a much softer touch that will help you to just apply the paint over without mixing it. Of course, when you do that, often you will need to put more paint which is already there. That's why I started with thinner colors, so I did not need to go extremely thick at the end.
Mm-hmm. You paint pretty thick too, don't you?
Yes, I do, but but I build it up. Yes.
Yeah. Your paintings are beautiful. I love the thick paint.
Thank you. It just, to be honest, it just happens with just the process of painting itself is asking for it. Also, my character as a painter, but it's not something. That's why I was trying to show you how to open the canvas or blocking the canvas this way, because this special way to open and start to refine the drawing like this helps you to paint more bold and to paint with more paint, but in a natural manner. Not just adding big paint somewhere just because. And if you are interested to be a little bit bolder with your touches, this is a good way to do it.
So what is your best advice to somebody who says, you know, I need to loosen up?
Yes. Well, first, I would say, and it's not easy, but try to not draw your subject when you start your painting. And this will really help you to basically see the shapes of, because when you paint, especially a sunny day, it's a good way to learn it. Because when you are in a sunny day, the objects, the subjects, just the things, a house, a tree, a road, is completely destroyed or cut by light and shadow. And by focusing on this area, basically you are building the landscape outside of the idea of the objects. So outside of painting a tree, outside of painting a house, but you're building a tree through modeling and through its separation through light and shadow. And this will help you to have a much more painterly drawing into your paintings.
Helpful, thank you.
Yeah. Another way to do it, it is to have a palette which is loaded with paint. It's an obvious one, but sometimes we just paint and maybe everybody probably experienced that. You're trying to mix a color, but after a while you realize that, well, I just did not have enough paint on my palette, and you are trying to mix it. At the end of the day, you had paint, but to paint with a thirsty palette, like I like to call it, is really a problem from having a bold, impressionistic painting, especially if it is your goal, because everything will feel too tidy and too everything is too dry, and you need to add more material into the painting. But all of that depends on your character. On this, you will learn with time that if it works for you or if it doesn't. But I feel like it is a good experience to anyway trying to loosen up in a way that you will not be afraid of your palette, not be afraid of your paints, and not be afraid of your painting. It will give you confidence, whatever how you paint afterward. If you paint with a lot of paint, thin paint, whatever, it will give you confidence that you can always fix something in your painting, or always change it. And this is a very important lesson when you paint.
Mm-hmm. So we've got about, let's say, about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
So just want to give you a heads up on that. I hope you
Thank
guys
you.
are enjoying this. Make sure you say where you're watching from in the comments, and Merry belated Christmas to everyone.
So at this stage, and also when I paint, I rarely paint a painting in one session. I painted in usually multiple sessions, going back to the scene, which also I recommend because the light is changing so much that usually after a while you just paint from memory. And even when you're painting plein air. And I do advise to try to go back to the same scene and continue it another day. And in the first stage of the painting, like you see today, I try to keep the colors extremely open, so I can take them to any direction. And then in the next session, I can decide to make something a little bit more gray there, a little bit brighter there. And this is very helpful to treat it this way, to develop a painting little by little. And also it looks like when you paint bold that you are, especially when the painting is finished, that it was rushed in a way, that it was just happened like this. But this is just an illusion. Usually those type of paintings takes a lot of time, and they need to be built little by little. But actually this illusion of a painting that just happened is something that I believe painter, in general, it's something positive to strive to try to accomplish, because it means that your message and what you were trying to say, just you just look at it and it just makes sense. This is a very important feeling. that you see in very masterful works in so readjusting certain colors to show the effect of reflected light. Don't
Finger painting.
finger painting a little bit when
Don't
your
lick
brush
your
is too dirty. Finger painting.
Yeah, as a disclaimer, I think it's a bad idea. And because the paint goes right through your skin into your liver.
Yes, I would not recommend it. Yes.
Yeah. I have a friend who died a horrible death because he painted with his fingers all the time. He had 250 tumors in his liver.
It's much better to wear gloves.
Yeah.
When
Well, you're a
you
young
start-
guy. Don't ruin it.
Yes, I started to wear more gloves when I paint. So I started to be more careful about this subject. It is true where I learned painting, it was look down to wear gloves or protection, but actually at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's
Never
better to
hurts.
take care of yourself. Yeah. So this is how you develop a painting through big spots of color and start to develop the atmosphere and the drawing through more pure colors into your painting. And you will see if you try this by yourself, don't be surprised if sometimes you feel like, oh, but this color should be more mixed or more complex. Don't hesitate to keep some color very pure and some color more complex. And this combination, painting is always, it's a bit a combination of contrast and opposites. So you have opposites of value, dark and light, you have opposite of temperature, and you have opposite of saturation or hue of paint, like more gray colors towards more colorful colors. And my exercise today, what I wanted to show you, it is that to start, instead of starting with something very gray and then move to something more colorful, I'm entertaining the idea to you to do the opposite. Start with colorful and then choose the areas who can be slightly more gray. the result will be that you will see that you will need much less gray color than you thought. And maybe the result will be to make your paintings more bright and with more atmosphere into them. Yeah.
Looking good. We're going to wrap up in about 5 minutes, Antonin.
Okay, that sounds
Really
good.
beautiful. Very colorful.
Well,
shadow.
of course, it is just a start of a painting, but it is this direction which I wanted to show you, where you are really focusing on re-emphasizing the importance of temperature in your painting. And this will, and the best way to practice it, of course, it is to do it plein air, because it will be easier for you to see those colors in plein air. Maybe it happened to you when you are painting a lot plein air, when you go to the studio and somehow you have to paint a painting from a photograph that you see. But no, this color is not right. It's not how it looks like in real life. This is what this approach will teach you about painting your shadows more right.
It makes me want to be there. That's so lovely. Are you painting on a board, a canvas?
It's a canvas. I stretch it myself. Linen. I like the process to do my own canvases, because I can manage how the canvas will absorb the paint, less or more. But this is another subject. But it is also very important for how the paint looks on the canvas.
So that has to do with what kind of a ground.
How you prime it, yes, and what type of primer you use, and how many layers you do, and all of that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe we'll do another show about that someday.
With pleasure.
Excellent. So if you were at a stage of finishing this, which I know you're not, what would be the final things that you would be putting in on this?
Well, I would focus more on the drawing on the main subject. And it means, for example, let me do it very fast, just defining a little bit the poles in front of the faraway house. So basically thinking when you want to define things like that, the spot of paint that you put, ask yourself, is it lighter or darker than the spot of color next to it? And you apply the paint according to that. Is it darker or lighter? And by doing this, and then the second question, is it warmer or cooler? But by doing this, you will be able to develop your painting a little bit faster, and also keep it more painterly, like that. So this is what I would focus on the main subject. So it carries the subject by itself, because the rest, some other parts can stay very open, very abstract, and some other can be a little bit more tight, and they will carry the whole meaning of the subject. And but before finishing, there is just so much to do, in a sense that when you are, another point I would like to make, it is that try to find details not in just drawing details, but in temperature details. For example, the tree a little bit at the bottom becomes a little bit darker and bluer. And this difference between up and down the tree will help to create a sense of reflected light to it. And to see those details, it is very important to do it in plein air, to see it more carefully. So here, it's actually kind of fun to redo one of your plein air painting in a studio format. Yes.
All right. Well, Antonin, why don't you come back on camera, because we're going to need to wrap it up today. All right. Well, let's see if the secret
Let's see if it
cropping
works.
tool is going to work for you.
No, it's not working. You see, it got tired.
All right.
Let me just readjust the camera. It will be easier.
Well, that's the danger of AI. Sometimes things work out.
Yes, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, listen, Antonin, we've put all your contact information, Instagram, and everything in the comments.
Thank you very much.
We are so glad that you're here. I want to encourage everybody to follow him and to attend his workshops or whatever else he's got going on. He's a good guy, good family man. I know his wife. His wife is from Russia. They've got 2 lovely children. We have a lot of common friends. As a matter of fact, one of them lives right across the street from you. So that's pretty nice.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And we'll come visit someday.
With great pleasure. You're always welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. And again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Our guest today was Antonin Passemard. I hope I'm getting that right. My producer is French, and so she'll correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, a couple of things I want to tell you about before you go away. First off, if you're not a subscriber, if you're new, please go to YouTube and look up Art School Live and hit subscribe. That'd be great. And follow me on all your social media, Eric Rhodes. Also, we have a free gift for you. The free gift is it's Plein Air Magazine's 201 Essential Plein Air Tips. It's an ebook and it's fabulous, really new and fabulous. Just go to pleinairmagazine.com/ebook. Coming up, a couple of things you should know about right around the corner. First off, my retreat, Winter Art Escape in St. Augustine, Florida. This actually today is the last day to be able to sign up. Otherwise, we have to turn any extra rooms back over to the hotel. because it takes place during Valentine's Day and they want those rooms. And so we want everybody to get signed up today. It is winterartescape.com. It's a lot of fun. You want to make sure you come. The next thing I want to tell you about is Watercolor Live, which is coming up right around the corner. And that is in mid-January, the 22nd through 24th, with Essentials Day or Beginners Day on the 21st. Some of the top watercolor artists in the world teaching online, no cost to travel. It's a great thing to attend. Just go to watercolorlive.com/ASL. Also coming up in January, actually just around the corner on January 10th, we have Art Business Mastery Day. And that's on the 10th, Friday. Block it out right now on your calendar. It's going to be all day Friday. It's going to be a long day. I can't teach you everything I've learned in my lifetime in a single day, and nor can my guests who are teaching as well. But we're going to teach you enough that it's going to make your 2025 the best one you've ever had if you follow our instructions. And it's only $47 to attend. There's no excuse not to attend. If you can't make it live, you can go on and get a replay package, which is a little bit more money. And so join us. And we have people coming from all over the world. We should have thousands of people on. So join us. Go to streamlineartevents.com/marketing. That's my company, Streamline. streamlineartevents.com/marketing. We also have Acrylic Live coming up around the corner. It's coming up in March. That's at acryliclive.com/ASL. And we have the Plein Air Convention, which is almost sold out. That's going to be in Lake Tahoe and Reno on the 19th of 23rd through May. And it's a lot of fun. We have 5 stages. We have probably close to 80 instructors, people who work with you when we're out painting, people who teach on 5 stages. And we have a big expo hall, and it's kind of like the place to go if you want to get to know a lot of other artists. That and more, right? So thank you for tuning in today. I'm Eric Rhodes, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel because we want to help you. And remember, if you just watch 5, go back to our archives on YouTube, just watch any 5. If you're not painting now, you can get the confidence. You can learn painting, drawing, watercolor, oil, pastel, gouache, a lot of different things. We have all kinds of subjects in there, and we have put all of this on YouTube. And, you know, we made a giant sacrifice because we also sell lots of training, and we sell, you know, highly produced, beautiful, high quality, and that's available at painttube.tv. But you can learn for free on YouTube and then go to PaintTube if you want like professional quality lessons at the next level. That's at painttube.tv/ASL. Thank you guys for tuning in, and please make sure you subscribe if you're new and come back. We're here every weekday at 12 noon. That's New York time, 12 noon Eastern. Okay. And I'm Eric Rhodes. Take care. And again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.